5 at SI.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. I don't want to burst your bubble as you're hyping up BDS, but their recent performance on Consulate has been poor. And unlike the poor performance of BDS on Consulate, FURIA, they've had a pretty good ride against everyone except for Team 1. We'll start off the bans, however. This is essentially a glorified best of 1 now. They've gone through the first 2 maps, we're into the third, and now it's pretty much a best of 1. The Habana will go out. What will follow will be another hard bridge. No, the Thatcher will go down yet again. And even though we've had only 1 map where that Thatcher has persisted, they don't want to bring it back into the fray. I wonder if Valkyrie will go out. Will they get rid of it? Yes, finally they do. And Rafale won't be able to play that one.
Very, very powerful on this map is the Valkyrie, so I think that's a good pickup, a good ban. And the Echo ban, so really like this flexibility. It gives the attacking side. You no longer have to worry so much about droning out all those black guys or the Yokais. You no longer have to worry about bringing in IQ. Just focus on the task at hand.
Absolutely, and here we go. This is the last opportunity for one of these teams to be able to propel themselves through the loser bracket, the lower bracket. It's also our very last cast here at the Six Invitational. And as we leave, so will one of these teams be joining us. And whilst that casts a very dark picture here, James, I tell you what, it's been an exciting groups and playoffs so far.
I mean, the Six Invitational 2021 has been unrivaled for upsets, and I would honestly be surprised if that was not to continue here with FURIA. Whichever way the candle does fall, or whichever way, I don't know, what candles don't fall, whatever. Whatever way this match goes, it will be a turning point.
Pendulum
Six
swings?
Invitational.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Is that the same?
I was going to say like the candle was snuffed out. I don't know. Let's just focus on getting my metaphors right for the end of the game. Whichever way it swings, either we lose our first Brazilian team here at SI, or we lose one of our tournament favorites in BDS.
5 seconds left.
Well, that is a scary, scary picture for the European fans out there who have already, spoiler alert, lost G2. And that is out of the picture. And considering only one of the European teams could even possibly make it to the grand finals, it won't be a Team Empire and BDS final, considering they're both in the lower bracket. We'll start on the bottom floor, however, for FURIA, and I was looking over their stats, and I tell you what, they overwhelmingly love the bottom floor. FURIA have this love affair with Garage and Cafeteria, and they have a pretty positive win rate on it as well. So if they lose this one out, this is going to bode really well for BDS, as currently this is a defensive sided map. The only attacking sided map throughout all of the Invitational has been Chalet, so keep that in mind.
Yes, of course, BDS start on attack here, and in overtime, FURIA will start on the attack. But Alem's getting to work on this map control. Hello, Shaiko. I don't know where that kill was, but Fantasy goes down. He's been a big hitter, especially in Oregon. There he is in the private bathroom. Alenda in a similar position starts to peel back as he is scared off, and the onslaught from the French does ensue.
Well, Rare will be the next line of defense inside of bathroom, and with that bathroom hold and a triple reinforcement, it means that he's going to have to dance around the bullets that come from above. Oh, you're missing it. You could see the M5. You could see him standing there. Lems, he's just a little bit past your line of sight. And as that gun gives the confirmation that he is there, he'll start to pepper shots. The drop will come out, and Rare barely gets away with his life. But they've wasted a lot of time. They only lost Fantasy for the trouble. And as a result, they'll only now start to work on that vertical control. But technically, that has been quite a victorious take of the map here by BDS. They've got time on their hands, and they have the utility, and there's only a mute jammer on the wall here, James.
But Lender certainly making his presence known here in the garage, eager to contest, but you're going to lose that when it's Shaiko on the other side. That's the second kill of the round, looking for another one. Renshiro finds a pick, but FURIA suddenly come to life here. The dying moments of this round, Rare so eager to make a flank happen. has to listen out, and he does hear the hiss of the air jab above this doorway, so he can't progress without trying to take it out, which would likely meet his death. Alem's aware of this position. So close, ran in this corner. Surely he lands the shot. There you go, 20 seconds. It's all on highs. And the 1 versus 3 got good information, but Brede gonna do what Brede does, force down that diffuser. And BDS start their attack strong with their first round.
That really was kicked off there by Shaiko. Really good roam clear. I think the word you used on Clubhouse was conviction. That is the one I have been feeling deep in my heart has been lacking from BDS throughout this best of 3, regardless of the results on each map so far. Gone 1-1 apiece, and the big thing for me, I do truly believe, James, is that once they get a bit of conviction behind them, that's where BDS shines. That's what that roam clear shouted to me, and that's what that plant in got as well. A little bit worried by Shaiko being unable to take his foot off the pedal there, going down yellow. The triple wall wasn't even open yet, but the round still goes into the hands of BDS, and now FURIA are deciding they will go to one of their least played sites. And we saw them do this on Oregon as well, go to one of their least played sites as either their primary or secondary site, and they're going to do that again here on Consulate.
It actually worked out really well on Oregon too. Meeting and Kitchen was very, very strong for FURIA. They won it in the opening time when they tried it. The second time, they did lose it just barely thanks to Shaiko and Rafal having an insane 2 versus 4 with Shaiko's 3K. But I think on the whole, you can't argue that it was the right decision for FURIA to go for that unorthodox bomb site pick. Now they're going to do the same here in Teller's Archives. Quite a difficult one to hold sometimes. A lot of teams have gotten pretty proficient at attacking this site. We'll have to see it. Onus really on BDS here, especially after that first round. I think starting strong here on their attack, a 3-3 half would be satisfactory. But I think if BDS back themselves to win Consulate, a 4-2 is definitely on the cards.
Well, there's not a pulse on the board either, and that is usually a mainstay operator for this site. They'll, you know, bunker down in Archives and pull out that scanner. That was an important player, and you want to know why? Because they had multiple of the Evil Eyes, and was that him or another player? Did he open up the hatch? Whatever it was, Highs will get away, and surely they're going to be able to pick him on up here, as there is a struggle for admin at the moment as the double repels come out. But the thing I wanted to point out just before all of the chaos ensues here, James, is that FURIA in the past 7 times they've played Tellers and Archives have not lost a single round. They have a 100% win rate since February on Tellers and Archives. So technically, it's one of their best sites, even though they haven't played it that much.
Or perhaps this is something that BDS have prepared for, but of course, when you have so many maps, so many teams, and so many matches, can't prepare for everything. Shaiko, though, is always ready for a fight. As he makes his way down Spiral, we saw he got a little overzealous last round, lost his life for it. Fortunately for FURIA, they're back with 5 men up. Highs revived. BDS starting to shape up. Still a lot of time to work with as they start to set up for this execute.
Well, Renshiro's in nice and close, and now they get on in with no pulse. They can be rest assured that it's just going to be a couple of those Evil Eyes that will paint the picture. Miracle, good shot onto the head of Alems. There's so many vertical holes that Renshiro's trying to dance around. The yellow pings give him an indication, but Shaiko's very aware of Fantasy, the top fragger on the side of FURIA. He's over in Bathroom, and he has no idea where he's gone over to. Running through multiple lines aside is Brede. He desperately wants a player, but with FURIA having so much access to these players running around, this is going to be a dire situation.
It's just Brede. He's good at planting, but he's going to have to do a lot more than just that. Here, a flawless round is up for the chopping block as FURIA retaliate here. 1 round apiece.
Smiles around the FURIA camp, left, right, and center. And the big thing about that for me was that I don't want to paint the picture that they're a perfect team on Tellers and Archives because we don't have a huge sample pool to go off of. But they've kept that dream alive for now, and their stats will say that they have a 100% win rate since, what have I got, since January the 1st on this particular site. Incredible showing. No wonder they felt comfortable going there as their secondary bomb site. And now they won't even go top floor. They say, no, we don't like it. We have a pretty poor win rate on it, which is absolutely right. And instead they will go to piano and lobby, which also they don't generally have the best history on. But I think considering what they were able to do in Tellers and Archives, why not give it a go and, you know, piano and lobby?
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is a great decision. I don't have the stats ahead of me for Furia like you do, but honestly, I just think top floor is a pretty rubbish site. I don't think it's very good.
Fair enough.
I think it's been overplayed, and I think especially since there's Jaeger with my nerfs, when you can no longer really hard hold Gallows stairs like teams used to, I just, you're putting a lot of things down to chance when you take that top floor site. We've seen some attempts at innovation, but it's very hard. Whereas the great thing about lobby press is you can put some presence in this top floor, but when you lose it, it's not the end of the day. Like, eventually, the attackers start to take this control away from you. You have a million different ways you can deny this plan. Especially, I'm looking at those C4s. Now, we've seen massive work done by Furia in the Nitro Cell department. They have 3 once again, Lender, Highs, and Miracle. There's a lot of ways you can deny plants just about anywhere in lobby with C4s up through those 2 hatches, plus all of the piano floor is soft except for the little stage, where if you have some pre-placed holes, you can also C4 onto there as well. So I like this choice here from Furia. I just think that it's going to come down to how well BDS are at taking this map control and finding these early picks, and whether we see trades come through.
Well, this is something that Fury has been really good at throughout multiple maps now, is getting those drones early on so BDS can't act on the information. Hello! Goodbye! What? And Fantasy, he says peekaboo as Alems comes rappelling on up. They, it was almost like the Spider-Man upside down kiss there as he flipped upside down, and that is the worst rendition of that I have ever seen. And they will lose their soft breach, they'll lose their grenades, they'll lose the firepower that Alems was going to bring.
Well, if that's Fantasy's idea of a kiss, I certainly don't want to go on a date with him anytime soon. As Alem's going to be regretting that one. Just another bad decision. But BDS starting to put some more pressure here on this top floor hold. The util comes through, Rare backs on out, but there's no one outside the lobby door, so they do not punish. Shaiko, though, upstairs will finally punish Fantasy. It's only equalized the man count, and as we see, Furia still a health advantage, still a bit of top floor presence in Lender. Things are all right for BDS, but still, we need to see more from them.
Well, Shaiko took a heck of a lot of HP challenging on to Fantasy, so he's worse for wear. And as you're getting down to the dying 60 seconds of a round, Shaiko knows this is what he does every time. This is why he's able to be so powerful, is when he's low HP. He knows he has to get those pre-fires, because a single bullet will put him into a DBNO position before you know it. And I'm just wondering, what is it here that BDS are hoping to achieve? They haven't really cleared the C4s. They haven't been able to get enough control to open verticals, and they're running well out of time here as there's just players trying to get a little bit of a challenge onto these long angles upstairs still. But Bride, he's going in for the plant. Where's the smokes? Where's the bait? He gets caught on the edge, but Bride, he'll have to recommit.
They shot it! They shot the smoke! And on the back of that, BDS have found 2 kills. They get the plant down. That's way too late, Miracle. And suddenly, BDS make that execute work perfectly. Stepping up when it mattered. It's all on Rare upstairs. He missed his first gas. His second was shot. Now he has to do the massive task of a 1 versus 4. Made it a little bit easier thanks to that first pick. But if Garage is the hardest site in the game to retake, then surely Lobby is the second hardest site to retake. BDS do not let him back into it. And they take their second round here on the attack.
An incredible bit of gun skill, mechanical skill from Shaiko. Again, he was 1 singular bullet away from death, and he managed to play spiral stairs to complete perfection. I'm glad we're getting a replay of this, because that would have given Alems the fright of his life. And of course, we don't necessarily have the cams to go through to see what Alem's response would have been just at that time. No, at least I don't. Maybe the audience did. But expertly done here from BDS. And now, well, they will move on to the upstairs finally. FURIA will take us to the top floor, and you said you find it to be a rubbish site. And I'm going to throw you a bone here, James, because not only is it a rubbish site in your mind, but it's also the most rubbish site statistically throughout all of the groups and the playoffs. Has a measly 53% win rate on the defense, and we know Consulate is a defensive-sided map throughout the Six Invitational, but it is the worst site by far.
Honestly, I'm surprised it even has 53%. If you look at the BR6 2021 Stage 1, it has a 30% win rate. That's where FURIA come from. Over on EUL Stage 1, it has actually a ridiculously high win rate, 64%. I don't know what you EUL teams are doing over there on CEO, but for some reason you're making it work. But I think overall, I'm still pretty certain that this is not a great defensive site. I'm ready for FURIA to show me something different. This is definitely not a strat I have seen before. Usually you reinforce the middle panel to protect your rotate into con through meeting. So I'm glad, like this, it's not just FURIA like, all right, let's just same old CEO. Let's mix it up. Let's bring some new strategies. Let's bring this RX and see what we can do.
Well, the reason I sounded rather confused there was, yes, opening up all of the connected there can be quite dangerous, but some people will get the dock, for example, with the 1.5, stand behind the A bomb chassis and get the super long angle over towards those B windows. Thank you very much for illustrating exactly what I mean. And that was popularized, I'm going to say about 6 months ago, maybe even longer. And, Lems?
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's the second kiss Fantasy's given him in the last 2 rounds, and the Lems is once again just falling off those rappels with nothing to show for it. And Shaiko does, though, snake his way into copy, finds a pick. We've seen Shaiko so hot in his angles. He does overextend a little bit sometimes. Will there be a punish as he gets pretty keen here on these angles? Jess, he's so eager to find these. Unia Gate keeps him at bay. And the Lender also takes a bit of damage. Shaiko's just gonna go for it here. Surely, he is so keen.
It is incredible the speed that he's moving at, but Lender says, please stop it. The QE won't work against me, and Lender will then even the man count. We're only halfway through the round, ladies and gentlemen, and BDS, especially Shaiko, they wanted to make good work of it. But as the dock will be able to refill the life of Lender, there's full HP players all over the board for FURIA and a worse for wear BDS. But with time on their hands, they're going to be able to make this work. I wonder where he's getting pinged from. There's no Valkyrie. It's been banned. Maybe that's a bulletproof. There you go. Yeah, and it's on where the TV would be. So for FURIA, good intel and nothing on the side of BDS to remove it just yet.
I think that was cleared just then by Renshiro. Not 100% sure. I think there's still one bulletproof in the field. And Rafale's found another opening. That's a big pick onto Miracle. Now, Brede, short of any util to clear this Aruni gate. He does have enough health to tank it should he desire, but that's a bit of a risk. Lender has so many long angles to tangle with here. There's Renshiro's on the other side on the meeting balcony. Oh, and that's a close one for Lender. He does not get it. High's gonna fill him back up with a little bit more health. When will this collapse come through for BDS? Brede's just gonna have to tank this gate. He does so, pushes forward, starts this plant down. Flashes are perfect though, and Highs is gonna have to get on close, but once again, he's full blind. And here comes the retake, not gonna happen. Rafale finds yet another pick, and High's keen with the MP5, but it's just him, and Brede says, I can do more than plant, mate. And he locks in yet another round there for BDS.
Did you see how long BDS took to commit to that plant there? They didn't do a Shaiko. I'm going to call it a Shaiko, where you can't take your foot off the pedal. You just want to get in and get the job done. They kept it cool, calm, and collected. And the reason I liked that was because they were making sure every player was in a position to be able to capitalize. Everyone had their utility in hands, aka those flashes, which did major damage towards Connector and Long Desk. That is a team that, even in the dying seconds of a round, is trying to keep a lot of reliance on that teamwork, on the coordination, and the fact that they had a man advantage there as well. You don't want to throw it down the drain. You also want to try and get a plant off. Really well done in the late round by BDS there. And I painted a really dire picture of Consulate and BDS together at the beginning of this map. And I'm starting to feel like BDS aren't letting that get to them in any way, shape, or form. Recent performance on this map alone, that is not playing a part in this particular matchup.
starting to be somewhat relieved. That pressure starting to be released here. If you're a BDS fan, because it was certainly looking grim after map 1, going Furia's way. Map 2 looking so good for Furia for such a long time. Now on map 3, it's all that matters. Like you say, we're in a glorified best of 1. What I will say is BDS, they're damn good at BO1s. They came second as well. And Furia, unfortunately, could not say the same out of their own region. They really need to start putting the pedal to the metal.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Oh, I don't know about that one, James. As I said before, Furia have a complete 100% win rate on Tellers and Archives. They've extended that even further to 8 wins in a row since they've played this over the past few months. Well, that was cheeky. I believe that was Lender. Commando in hand, not opting for the Roni, needs the extra magazine to work with. And if they win this, they will then ever more extend their dominance on Tellers and Archives. But this is BDS's opportunity to break that. A Vigil on side, and that will be confirmed. They know Fantasy played it another round as well, and Shaiko, he has been the thorn in the side of Fantasy.
Yeah, Fantasy teasing out some admin pressure. But let's say Furia do win this round. Let's say that stat continues, 100% on Tellers, but Furia fail on the next round. Is that enough for Furia? 2 rounds of defense?
Surely not. Why did you peek? Alems was already shooting Lender. You didn't have to throw your body. And he throws a headshot into it for good measure. Upside down rappel, and Fantasy's doing the dance here. He gets what he's looking for, though, and that's an out, as unfortunately Lender falls. Been having quite a terrible first half here on Consulate. And so far, it does look like Furia, even though we've seen them have really good results on this particular site, their top floor roam has been dismantled time and time again.
It's a nice break for Alems, at least. He's been the opening death 3 rounds in a row and finally finds himself an opening kill. Especially as he's only playing these passive positions at the back, rotation, cutoffs, etc. He really shouldn't be losing those fights. Finally, he'll get a little bit of confidence back himself. BDS start to make some work upstairs, opening up the floor, clearing out the site. Got to check what util there is. Of course, we've got some Evil Eyes and some Banshees. These will need to be dealt with before the eventual execute. The one thing that's different compared to last defense here for Furia is the fact that there just isn't as many C4s as you might expect, especially considering Lender was the first one to go down.
No pulse again as well, James. That's a bit of a worry here. They've got a lot of those verticals, though, and that's what made it almost impossible for Bride to play it last time. He's going to give it yet another go, and no matter where he stands there, I think he'll be seen. Ranshiro, though, nice battle there, and as they get those double-level vertical challenges, it is all up to Fantasy and Highs now, who I think they have a mountain to climb. This might be the first time they lose this site in the past 3 months. James, it's all on Fantasy, the top fragger here, and he's got a 1v3 with 10 HP. I'm not seeing it happening.
Got a good loadout for it, though. This K1A is great, but BDS are just better. And that is the breaking of the record. BDS have taken 3 rounds in a row, put themselves up 4-1 on the scoreboard, and left Furia with a lot of questions to answer.
I have a feeling that breaking of the perfect dominance on Tellers and Archives over how many games am I going back? I'm going back Dark Zero, Team 1, Cloud9, G2, Atheris, INTZ, Santos Esports. I'm going through that many maps worth of games here of dominance that Furia has had on Tellers and Archives, and they have not ever lost it. They come against BDS, they carry it on for 1 round, but the next time they go to Tellers and Archives, BDS dismantles it. Does this paint the picture for what this map might become? I don't want to cast a curse at James, but I'm just saying if they can break that curse, they might be able to break them here in this best of 3.
Yeah, BDS at the moment really need this break. They've been under so much pressure, and finally that talk has been lifted, and Furia now really have the onus on them. Surely after all this hype we've given for them, after such an incredible showing, they seeded into the lower bracket, they won their first game against DZ. a convincing one as well. You know, you said that a lot of people were saying FURIA weren't really put to their limits against Dark Zero.
Correct.
And now we are seeing FURIA finally tested all the way, everything they've got. And here against BDS, it's proving to be Tumultuous Challenge Map 3, the hardest of them all, even harder than BDS's own map pick that FURIA managed to take off of them. And once again, Alems is in for the opening pick. Lender gets a little bit more than he bargained for with that peak. And all of a sudden, BDS are looking very, very nice for a 5-1 split.
What a shame for Lender, who's had a pretty rough best of 3 so far, but on Consulate, he has just been thrashed. BDS have his number, and they have it on speed dial almost every single round. And as a result now, for the side of FURIA, they're a man down. And that's always bodes really well. I've got to quote Ace here. Most teams who do get the first kill go on to win the round. Statistically, for most teams outside of Cloud9, of course, who have already left the Six Invitational. And for FURIA, they are staring down the barrel of possibly only winning one round here in this first half. It's their opportunity now to be able to clap back, but this is a tense standout here.
Lems has found a double elsewhere. Fantasy went down. Highs falls back to side. Rez also been injured. Man, this is not looking so great for the Brazilians. FURIA may well be the first Latin American team to be eliminated from SI as BDS get one step closer once again. 5 versus 2, Jess, and I just don't see a way that BDS can fall flat on their face now. Miracle will take down an overextending Shaiko. It's just him and Highs to hold on.
Well, isn't that the story for Shaiko here on Consulate? Overextend, overextend, but you know who overextends? It's Miracle, and he puts himself in a position he damn shouldn't have. Highs wants to trade, but he is now in a 1v4 situation. We said the last clutch moment it wouldn't be possible, but with the Elder it might have been, and Renshiro will put him in his place as FURIA seemingly were going to dismantle BDS on the desk. They can't. I'm going to put it out right now. Xenox and Guz, who said FURIA were going to take this, you better hope they have a miracle second half here, because they are staring down the barrel of leaving Six Invitational on the next flight home.
Yeah, it's been a massive reprisal for BDS. I don't know for FURIA whether this is a lack of stamina or just a lack of substance on Consulate. But this has not been their game. This is not the FURIA we saw on Oregon, on Clubhouse. This is BDS showing up and really just giving FURIA whatever they've got left in the tank, which is apparently quite a lot. And FURIA really need to step up their game here as we head to a tactical timeout. Last time FURIA took their attack, it was on the back of a round win. And I will say, they look pretty happy. Twister's giving him some cold hard advice right from the heart, which is exactly what they need, especially as we bring up that round breakdown. You can see it has been all BDS all day long.
Couple of plants in there as well. And considering Bride was one of the highest, if not, I believe after this best of 3, he will be the highest planter out of all of the Six Invitational. He's been getting that diffuser down on the floor more often than not. And if you want to know how he's been tracking for this particular best of 3 so far, I have about 7 listed down for him alone. Shaiko got 1 down as well. And so they are getting not as many as we would usually expect, and that's probably coming out of the aggression from FURIA. But speaking of aggression, James, you were asking if it was stamina, you were asking if it was the map. I actually think that they've gotten to the 3rd map, and all of that controlled, really well-balanced aggression we were seeing from FURIA has turned into lazy aggression. And what I mean by that is I think they are running out of a bit of steam here, whereas Shaiko, it seems like he's just been building up to this 3rd map, and he's just going bananas.
Now, one of the differences as well is it seems like when Shaiko gets picked early, it's no biggie. You know, if he finds 1 kill and dies, or if more likely finds 2 kills and dies, BDS are like, oh, that's all good. Shaiko's just doing Shaiko things. We'll do the rest of our attack. Whereas FURIA on those defenses, as soon as they started to miss some of those opportunities, things looked a bit grim. Now, BDS have to defend. Now, see if they can walk the talk. FURIA do have a significant shot here on the attack. I would say that Consulate has a pretty good chance of swinging to the attacking side. Now, the stats of the SI don't back me up. While Consulate is not very defender-sided, it is still slightly defender-sided. And so we really need to see something exemplary from FURIA here to stay in this game
Attackers have located a bomb.
and show us everything that we saw on map 1 and 2.
FURIA have been a seriously impressive team. They have surprised me time and time again. And as we rightfully had on the desk, and you and I have discussed this as well, James, they are one of the lowest rated teams in all of Latin America. They've come in and they've been able to throw the best European team through the loops, through the different... I'm telling you, if the lowest rated team from Latin America can do this to the top rated team from EU, then the depth of Latin America is completely underestimated. And I'm so glad we are finally having international competition, because we are now seeing that, yes, Latin America will truly probably become our overlords.
Well, FURIA need to prove that they do have this skill that the other Brazilian teams have. They've done some good drone work here against BDS, but it's a massive trek forward. That's a perfect air jab and a perfect shot to clean up Alems. Once again, the opening pick. And his riot is put to an end.
Well, this could bode really well for FURIA. Getting the opening pick generally will mean that they walk away with a round win, statistically more often than not. So we've started off well here, and you've gotten rid of Alems, who have been trying to run riot downstairs, so they don't have to worry as much about a player being down there. Rafal is the next line of defense here for them. That's why he's expelling as many of his smoke babes as he can. That grenade will almost snuff out his life. As he has one more smoke babe, he won't have time to be able to throw it, as Lender, who had a pretty poor first half, is hoping to redeem himself on the second.
FURIA start to step up here on their attack. It's only step one of many that will be needed. BDS still have a lot to go on this round. They still have info in sight. They still have util as well. Sharko seemingly aware of this. CEO repel. What a headshot there. As Lender goes down, BDS another move closer, just an inch closer to that match point they've been seeking. And Renshiro can find another pick as well. Here comes the execute for FURIA. A smoke goes through, and no push as of yet, but time is their enemy. Sharko shut down, and BDS still hold on. There's an evil eye though in sight. Bride to hold on and try and deny this, but Renshiro can find the kill. This might be it. Fantasy to force down this diffuser, but there's no one to deny. Is that C4 gonna land? Through the wall, it gets him. Renshiro locks in match points for BDS.
And from what looked like BDS might be knocked out in the lower bracket, one of the favorites for Six Invitational, they have been able to fight valiantly now into the third map. I was worried for them after Oregon. It looked like it was going to shambles, and FURIA were just dismantling them left, right, and center. But as we have got through this best of three series, it looks like BDS has the stamina to be able to take this one out. This will require the Latin American team of FURIA to put 5 whole rounds on the board in a row just to get to overtime. And I do think, unless we see a miracle run, pun intended, of course, with miracle being on the side of FURIA, unless we see that run, James, we will have our very first Latin American team going home. And surely it won't be the last. I mean, statistically, it won't be the last, I'm sure. But nevertheless, this is BDS's opportunity to show that EU dominance. FURIA have done well so far.
But FURIA have a massive road ahead of them. 5 rounds will be required to force overtime, and it looks like BDS might have finally found their break. It has been a long, stressful, and intense series for the French, from losing their own map pick and trekking all the way back into this game to Consulate. As we go down to Garage Cafeteria, and FURIA once again have a chance keep their SI hopes alive in this lower bracket elimination match.
As I said, FURIA have done well to get to the third map against one of the SI favorites. And we felt that they're lacking a little bit of that steam, that little bit panache that we saw in the map 1 and 2. Maybe the stamina is lacking, but whatever it is, now is the last opportunity for the next 5 rounds in a row, as we said, to show that they can put these rounds together, even though they've only been able to put 1 on the board, and that was on Tellers and Archives on defense. Attacking side not boding too well for them, and if you're a BDS fan, this is one of the best outcomes you've been looking for.
This roam game for BDS, well, we're yet to see an engagement either way. Good information denial from Shaiko on that roam upstairs, and FURIA not looking to engage. For the most part, very centered around this garage push. We've seen some teams go for garage only takes. That's not quite what we see here. As FURIA establishing a beachhead on yellow stairs, getting information as to Alems down in anti-chamber. And Hyatt starts to push on through, but this is slow. This is ineffective by FURIA.
Shaiko is still top floor. Absolute menace. He's able to get free just for the moment. And you're right, this is just so slow going here from FURIA. Maybe they're worried because they are staring down the barrel here of match point, series point, SI point. They will be sent home if they cannot put this together. They've got 1 minute to do so now, James. Maybe even less. If we see a couple of good shots here from BDS, they'll spot that one out over towards the white banners. Rare opens up this triple wall. They have a really good opportunity now to be able to stop BDS in their tracks and flip the momentum on its head.
There's only 50 seconds left, and FURIA need to keep up the pace. Highs upstairs, looking for this vertical play, but it's been slow. It's been ineffective, and we need to see more. This could be a nade to open the round. There's Brede on the edge of his seat. Shaiko for this flank, and FURIA don't know about it. So close, dodging the drones. Here comes the entry. That's the first pick for FURIA. The trades come through. BDS is coming up massive. It's all on Lender. He could dial every number in the phone book, but ain't nobody gonna pick up and save him. BDS looking to lock in their chance through this. France is not done yet. BDS take the series and another step towards the championship.
What a beautiful series from Shaiko. I believe he will end up on more than a 1.3 rating. He had a +10, a 77% cost before that round. God knows what he will end on. But we will get that match summary in the post-match. But there you go, your very first Latin American team who will be knocked out of the Six Invitational will be